When she walked in, the room fell silent. Then she pointed at me and said, "I'm here for him." The mess hall of the human outpost on Series 7 was loud with chatter and clinking trays. Soldiers and engineers sat in groups eating their rations and sharing stories from the long war against the Krell. No one noticed the door slide open at first, but then the noise dropped like a stone in water. Every head turned. She stood in the doorway, tall and lean, with skin the color of polished obsidian, and eyes that glowed faintly gold. Her hair was braided in thick cords that fell past her shoulders and shimmered like starlight. She wore a form-fitting suit of deep violet armor that hummed softly with energy. At her hip hung a blade that pulsed with a quiet blue light. She was not human. She was Xanthari. And Xanthari had not been seen near human space in over 20 cycles. Everyone froze. Some reached for weapons. Others just stared in awe or fear. The Xanthari were legendary warriors said to move faster than thought and strike with the fury of dying stars. They had vanished from the galactic stage long ago after a great betrayal no one fully understood. But she did not look at the armed guards or the officers. Her golden eyes locked onto one man sitting alone in the corner tray, half-eaten. He was lean with tired eyes and a faded scar across his left eyebrow. His name was Daniel. Just Daniel. No rank, no title. A former pilot who had been grounded after the Battle of Helios Ridge. She walked toward him. Her boots made no sound on the metal floor. The crowd parted without a word. When she reached his table, she stopped and pointed directly at him. "I'm here for him," she said, her voice smooth and low like distant thunder. Daniel looked up slowly. He did not flinch. He had seen too much to be startled by strangers, but something in her eyes made his chest tighten. He knew that look. It was the same look his sister had given him the day she left to join the Xanthari Scouts. That was 10 years ago, and she never came back. "You're Lyra," he said quietly. She nodded once. The name meant nothing to the others but to Daniel. It was a ghost returned. Lyra, his younger sister, who had vanished after their parents were killed in a Krell raid. She had been just 16 then, full of fire and questions about the stars. Now she stood before him, a warrior of a lost race. "Why are you here, Lyra?" he asked. "Because the Krell are coming back," she said. "And they're not alone. They found something old, something buried under the ice of Series 7, something that should never wake." A murmur ran through the room. Series 7 was a mining colony built over ancient ruins. Humans had dug deep and found strange structures older than any known civilization. They called it the Whisper Vault. No one understood it, but now it was humming louder each day. "What do you want from me?" Daniel asked. "You flew the Blackwing during the Helios campaign," she said. "You know how to navigate blind zones. The vault is opening, and only a human mind can shut it down from the inside. But you'll need a Xanthari guide." "Me?" Daniel shook his head. "I'm grounded, Lyra. My clearance was revoked after Helios. I can even leave the base. You can if I say so," she replied. "The Xanthari still hold treaties with the Alliance, and I am their envoy now. Your past does not matter. Only what you can do." He looked at her face, searching for the girl he remembered. She was gone, replaced by something harder, sharper, but in her eyes he saw the same stubborn hope that used to light up their broken home. "All right," he said, standing. "He'll go." The base commander tried to stop them. He shouted about protocols and security. But Lyra simply raised her hand and a pulse of violet light shimmered in the air. Every weapon in the room clicked empty. The soldiers stared at their useless guns. "We do not have time," she said calmly. "The vault sings louder each hour. If it wakes, the Krell will control it. And then no world will be safe." Daniel grabbed his old flight jacket and followed her out. They walked through the cold tunnels of Series 7, until they reached Sector 9, where the vault entrance lay hidden behind layers of ice and steel. The air grew thick with static. Strange symbols glowed on the walls, pulsing in time with a low hum that vibrated in their bones. "This place was not built by any race we know," Lyra said. "It is older than time. The Xanthari found it first, but we could not enter. Only humans can pass the threshold. Their minds are chaotic, unpredictable. The vault sees them as keys, not threats." Daniel placed his hand on the door. It opened with a sigh of ancient air. Inside, the corridor twisted like a living thing. Lights flickered in colors that had no name. The ground shifted under their feet. "Stay close," Lyra warned. "The vault tests those who enter. It shows you your fears." As they walked, Daniel saw flashes of his past. His parents burning in the Krell fire, his sister running into the smoke. His own failure at Helios when he lost his whole squadron trying to save a civilian ship. The guilt had eaten him alive. But Lyra walked beside him steady and silent. When the visions grew too strong, she reached out and gripped his arm. Her touch was warm despite her alien skin. "You did not fail," she said. "You chose to save lives when others would have fled. That is why you must do it again." They reached the heart of the vault, a vast chamber filled with floating crystals that sang in harmony. In the center hovered a sphere of black energy crackling with red veins. The Krell were already there, 3 of them armored in jagged black plates, their insect-like faces twisted in triumph. They had hooked machines into the sphere, drawing power from it. Their ships would soon be unstoppable. "You are too late?" Synthari 1 hissed. "The heart is ours." Lyra drew her blade. Daniel had no weapon, but he remembered the vault's nature. It responded to thought, to will. He closed his eyes and thought of his sister not as a warrior, but as the girl who used to laugh under Earth's sun. He thought of the lives lost, the ones still fighting. He poured all his regret and hope into one clear command. "Stop." The crystals flared white. The sphere shuddered. The Krell screamed as their machines exploded. The black energy collapsed inward, then vanished. Silence. Lyra looked at him with something like pride. "You did it." But Daniel knew it was not over. The Krell would return. The vault might sleep, but it would not stay quiet forever. "What now?" he asked. "Now we prepare," she said. "The Zenthari are not gone. We were waiting for a human who could hear the vault's song. You are that human, Daniel, and I am your sister. Together we will stand." He nodded. For the first time in years he felt purpose, not as a soldier, not as a pilot, but as someone who could bridge 2 worlds. They walked out of the vault hand in hand. The ice above them cracked with new light. Somewhere far off, a Krell ship turned and fled. And on Series 7, the humans watched as the alien woman and the broken pilot stepped into the rising sun, ready to face whatever came next.